Shola Alatwe, who is our Roger Starr Public Service Awardee. And what can I say? We were happy to give Shola this award before the breaking news on Monday night. And we're now particularly grateful that we're able to do it after this news and able to honor her leadership over the last 4 years of one of the most difficult jobs in New York City. What an extraordinary career in public service Shola has already had, and she's just getting started. HR&A, HSBC Bank, Enterprise Community Partners, where she developed Enterprise's Sandy Recovery Program. She's always worked to improve people's lives. And for the last 4 years, she's served as chair and CEO of the New York City Housing Authority. Under Shola's leadership, NYCHA launched this next generation 10-year strategic plan, finding new ways to fund and operate existing NYCHA buildings, like the federal RAD program, and developing new affordable housing. I like to think, and I'm going to diverge from the script here for a second. I like to think about affordable housing as a calling, and many of us, I think, feel that way, feel as though that we're doing important work. And I like to think about it, and I was talking to Larry Hammond about this earlier, and I told him I was going to call him out, but there's a passage in Isaiah 6 where Isaiah is called as a prop to the prophecy and to be a prophet. And in some instances, in some ways, it's a very beautiful scene. The angels are singing, they're all in white, but it's going to be a very, very tough job. And it seems as though no one really wants to volunteer. And God calls out, "Who will I send?" And Isaiah says, "Here I am, send me." And of all of the jobs that you can do in affordable housing, I wonder how many people, when they got the call, if they got the call to be the head of the New York City Housing Authority, would say, "Oh yeah, I'll do that." Well, we have somebody here who did it, and I think did it under great difficulty, with great grace and professionalism, and I think, as we'll indicate, got some stuff done. And so we're happy to honor her and really appreciate her being here today.
And I'm not sure there's anyone in this room more deserving of a round of applause than Shola. So we wanted to throw you a party with 1,000 of your closest friends to give you a pat on the back and welcome you in a room full of people who understand how difficult that job is. Property management doesn't mix well with politics, and when the political becomes exceedingly personal, Shola remained the consummate professional and public servant. We're honored to give Shola this year's Roger Starr Public Service Award.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Richard. Thank you, Jessica, and the entire CHPC board. Richard, you're quoting scripture up in here. We're gonna have church. I love it. Thank you so much for this honor. It is lovely, let me tell you, to be in a room of friends and colleagues and people who I admire and respect and have learned from over the course of my career and hope to continue to do so. I want to thank and congratulate my fellow awardees and friends, BFC partners, Matthew, Jim, and Errol. Could not be more pleased to be a part of a group of change makers in this city, and so congratulations to all of you as well. I also want to congratulate Jessica on her new role as CHPC's newest executive director. It's totally fine to have a baby while you do this. It's no problem, I did it, you got this. I have to thank Geraldine for her guidance and friendship. Many of you may not know, but I interned with Geraldine in graduate school. She was my capstone assignment. I immediately took to this woman with a big voice and a penchant for the F-bomb and a deep understanding of how this city works. She is the best kind of woman and public servant. So please, a round of applause for Geraldine. I'm too tall for that. I'm too tall for that, sorry. Roger Starr loved this city fiercely. He was unafraid to say hard and politically unpopular things. He was actually quite passionate about public housing and criticized the Reagan administration for its slashing of funding to support this vital American resource. I wonder what he would think now. The man who coined the unpopular and fear-inducing term planned shrinkage. What would he say to the protesters who decry the state of the conditions in some of our units, but yet protest the construction of new development to raise money to fix said conditions? What would he say to those who think this $3 billion, 10,000-person bureaucracy, that they need another impenetrable layer of bureaucracy instead of real labor reforms that streamlines services to residents? Far be it from me to assume, but he probably would like to hear the case. So let's go back to 2014. Let's remember that basic repairs took 14 days or more, a stalled Sandy program, less than 3 weeks of cash on hand. 25% of the city's shootings were being driven by 15 of our developments, a demoralized employee body and a disillusioned populace. No major media outlets, and if you weren't running for office, no one was talking about the future of a public housing model in New York City. As one of my staff put it, we had survived by managing NYCHA into the shadows. This mayor sought to bring NYCHA out of the shadows. Our 10-year strategic plan, Next Generation NYCHA, was a stabilizing effort to put the organization on a path toward reform. We had to balance the budget. This meant increasing revenues quickly and cutting expenses. We've balanced the budget 3 years in a row. We aggressively sought to close long-stalled development deals and to launch the largest development program in the country. CHPC will soon release a 2-year study on our Section 8 recap deal done with L&M and BFC and led by the powerhouse of Nicole Ferreira. Where is Nicole? She was mine first. Their study will say what we know will be true, which is residents are happier, their homes are renovated, and we kept the promise of affordability. We now have 5,100 units under construction and another 10,000 units of RAD in the pipeline. We've put HUD on notice that we're coming for more. Our sustainability plan is deploying $300 million in energy performance contracts, delivering real improvements for residents, new heating systems, windows, and lights. We invested in the Opportunity Platform and connected over 8,000 people to jobs because this work is about people, the 1 in 14 New Yorkers who rely on NYCHA for home. While I may not have agreed with most of his views, I think Starr would want us to challenge the status quo. He'd want us to do the hard thing and rethink the size of this portfolio, leverage private partners, and build as much as we can wherever we could find it. My tenure as the CEO of the country's largest housing authority has been thrilling, maddening, and humbling. There is no doubt that we have struggled. We have fallen short on some of our most basic functions. While not the whole story, it is part of the story of a long-ignored agency in the midst of a turnaround effort. The values instilled in me as a young black girl with a long name from Waterbury, Connecticut, have carried me throughout this assignment and my life. Honesty, compassion, and service. It has been a distinct honor to serve in Mayor de Blasio's administration. I want to thank him for his trust and his confidence. I've had the privilege to work with so many amazing professionals, Maria, Marisa, Purnima, Eric, and Ruth Ann. My team, my amazing NYCHA team, stand up. Where are you? Vito, David, Edna, Karina, Kilsies, Jackie, Kelly, Yvette, Kathy, Carrie, Bob, Deborah, Lakeisha, and Takesha. These are just some of the 10,600 men and women who wake up every day and think about how to make another city work and as best as we can under difficult circumstances. I have to thank my family, my husband. Our family. Today is our firstborn's 12th birthday. I cannot believe it. Don't get me started. They have endured endless hours of discussion and tours of public housing here and beyond. They're probably happy their mother won't drag them to other buildings. I honor you. I love you. And to the women, to the amazing women in my life, Tracy, Aisha, Donna, and Joy, and all the women of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, the men and women of New York City Housing Authority, the public servants who work so hard to make this great city serve the most vulnerable, and all of us. I want to thank you. I want to thank CHPC for this amazing award. I want to thank all of you for your support, for your emails and calls. It has meant so much to me and my family. Onward. Thank you very much.